Okay, yesterday we have completed the half part of our lesson. Before going into the remaining part of the lesson, let's have a quick recap on earlier class. Coming into this lesson, what happened? The narrator who went to the junk shop and brought a roll-top desk to his house. He sat on the, he was working on the desk and he found a secret drawer in the desk. In that drawer, he found a tin box. In the box, he found an envelope with an address which was written by Jim McPherson to his wife Connie. In that letter, he wrote what happened one day in the war. As they have teams, Tommy and Fritz teams, while they are in war, on Christmas Day, they just forgot everything and just they came to no man's land and they shared their views, everything. They laughed, they smoked, they played, and they exchanged the food items and everything. They enjoyed a lot. At last, they decided to play a game of football. While playing football game, the team leaders, who were the team leaders here? Jim McPherson and Hans Wolf. They were the captains of those two teams. They were watching the football game. At that time, Hans Wolf told to this Jim McPherson. What did he say? Here, while playing this football game, it is not a war. Nothing will happen while playing this game. In this sense, what does this mean? No children will become orphans and no women will become widows and no one will be killed in this game. Like that, they both discussed this. Children, I think you got it. Now, coming into the next paragraph. I would prefer cricket, I told him. Then we Tommies could be sure of winning probably. We laughed at that and together we watched the game. So here, Jim McPherson told to Hans Wolf that we Tommies were sure to win the football match. Now, who were the team? Tommy, who was Tommy here? Tommy is nothing but Tommy group. That means the Tommy leader is nothing but Jim McPherson is telling to Hans Wolf that surely we will win the match. Which match they are playing here? Are they playing cricket? No, they are playing here football match. Okay. But sad to say, Connie, Fritz won 2 goals to 1. So here McPherson is telling to his wife that who won the match? Yes, the Fritz won the match. That means the Germans won the match. That means the Hans Wolf team won the match. But as Hans Wolf generously said, our goal was wider than theirs, so it was not quite fair. So what did Hans Wolf said? Even though they won the match, the Hans Wolf, who was the team leader of that match, declared that the winners were Tommies. Why did he declare like that means? Because these Tommies' goal was wider than theirs. Wider than theirs. Children, do you understand how generous he was? Generous means kind. Who was kind here? Hans Wolf. Even though he was opponent team, he declared the Tommy's team as winners. Do you understand? Okay. The time came and all too soon when the game was finished, the snacks and the rum and the sausage had long since run out. Now the time came and all soon when the game was over and the snacks and the rum and sausage came to run out. Children, what is the meaning of run out? As you all know, run out, just you will tell the meaning of, according to cricket, you will say run out means out. But here, according to this lesson, run out means almost completed, finished. What is finished here? Yes, they brought sausage and rum and everything. That means nothing but eatables. So that was completed, almost finished. I wished Hanswell and told him I hoped he would see his family again soon, that the fighting would end and we would all go home. So here, already it was evening time and already the match was completed. Almost what are the eatables brought by them also completed. Now, Jim McPherson is wishing hands for again. We will meet soon. We wish our families will be fine. Maybe actually it was the war time. Even though that is the war time, they just forgot everything on that day. They just went through only peace. I think that is what every soldier wants. On both sides, Hansford said, "Take care, Jim Macpherson. I shall never forget this moment, nor you." And not only that, Hansford also gave the same answer to Jim Macpherson. What did he say? He also wished the same. Okay, I also never forgot this day. Until these days, they are fighting against their countries. That means here they are fighting for Germans and these are fighting for Britishers. They just kept aside this enmity and they are playing well and they forgot everything on the Christmas day. So when they are parting at that time, they wished each other. With them, each and every family should be good and fine until the end of this war. Next. And walked away from me slowly, unwillingly. He saluted and walked away from me slowly, unwillingly. I felt. He saluted. Who saluted here? Hansford saluted him and walked away from slowly, unwillingly. Unwillingly means not interested. Because from morning to evening they played and they exchanged everything. They talked with each other like that. They shared everything. But at the evening time, while they are parting each other, he went unwillingly. He turned to wave just once and then became one of the hundreds of grey-coated men drifting back towards their trenches. He turned to wave just once. Just wave meant just he showed his hand like this and he just moved very fast. Drifting means moved away from there and he just mingled with the remaining trenches. That means into the team. Nothing but Fritz team. He joined in the Fritz team. That night, back in our dugouts, we heard them singing a carol. That night, back in our dugouts. Children here, have you noticed back in their dugouts? They didn't went and slept in their tent here. Again they sat in their specific places only. The dugouts means nothing but trenches. Who just they have here he has given a shelter for soldiers made by digging a hole in the ground and covering it. That means already they sat in their dugouts only. Until the war finished, they should be in their positions. So like that, they went to their specific places. And singing a carol and singing it quite beautifully. Children, carol. Carol means it is one kind of song sung by Christians in church. We call it as carol. A song sung by Christians in church. That's we call as carol. Here, singing quite beautifully. It was still nashed, silent night. Children here, notice this, still nashed. We call it as carol. It was taken from the album Silent Night. What is the album name here? Silent Night. Who were singing this song here? Hansford team, Fritz team, they were singing the carol because that is Christmas day. That's why they are singing the carols. From Hansford team, they are singing Still Nashed Carol from Silent Night album. At that time, these Tommies who were in their dugouts, they also started to sing. What did they sing here? They sang one carol from White Shepherd's Watch. Here, Tommy's team sang song from White Shepherd's Watched album. They sang carol from this album and Fritz team sang Silent Night from this album. Okay. We exchanged carols for a while and then we all fell silent. Exchange the carols. What is the meaning of exchange the carols? Did they come and give one carol to the other team? No here. While they are singing one carol, after that, these are following that carol. Again, these are singing and again they are following. That means here just they forgot their enmity and they go on singing. on that Christmas night. After some time, they fell silent. That means they went into sleep. We had our time of peace and goodwill, a time I will treasure as long as I live. So here, what Jim McPherson is expressing here, I won't forget that night in my life until my death. Do you understand, children? Okay. Next. Dearest Connie, by Christmas time next year, this war will be nothing but a distant and a terrible memory. I know from all that happened today how much both armies long for peace. We shall be together again soon. I am sure of it. At last, by the end of the letter, again Jim McPherson wrote, mentioned dearest Connie. By the next year, that means for next Christmas year, maybe this war may not be prolonged. Maybe it will be closed and we will go to our homes happily and merrily. Like that he said to his wife. That means he wrote to his wife in the... Okay children, up to here we read the letter. What did he write in that letter? Jim McPherson wrote to his wife what happened on that Christmas day in the war. Do you understand? Okay. Let us go into the next part. I folded the letter again. That means here until now the narrator read the letter. What was written in the letter? Because of his curiosity he read the letter. Now he understood. What did he understood? Jim McPherson was a soldier. In the time of war he wrote a letter to his wife Connie. Have you understood children? Okay. Next see here. I folded the letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. I folded the letter again. I refer to here. Yes, narrator. Letter again and slipped it carefully back into its envelope. How did he open from its envelope now? So already he folded it and kept in that envelope. I kept awake all night. So he read the letter, but on that night, he just awake and he was going on thinking about the letter. By morning, I knew what I had to do. By morning, we decided. What did he decide? Yes, he decided to hand over the letter to Mrs. Jim McPherson. Mrs. Jim McPherson is nothing but Connie. Mrs. Jim McPherson is nothing but Connie. He wanted to return the letter to his wife, which was written by Jim McPherson. So that's he wrote here. What did he write here? By morning I knew what I had to do. I drove into Bridport just a few miles away. Again he drove to Bridport. Children, what is Bridport? Yes, on the envelope we have that address. Jim McPherson, 12 Copper Beaches, Bridport, Dorset. Yes, very good. From that, he drove to Bridport just a few miles away. That means which was from his house, which was far away from his place, which was a few miles away from his house. He went to Bridport. I asked a boy walking his dog where Copper Beaches was. Children, when you don't know the address, whom would you ask? Yes, who was passing by? Anyone we may ask. Like that here also, this narrator asked one boy who was walking with his dog. House number 12 turned out to be nothing but a burned out shell. When he asked the boy gave address. When he went to that place, he found that there was no house. It was only burned out shell. Burned out shell means destroyed by fire. That means the house was destroyed by fire. Whose house it was? Yes, very good. It is Mrs. Jim McPherson's house was burnt out. That means destroyed by fire. The roof gaping, the windows boarded up, and the roof was gaping. What is the meaning of roof gaping? Gaping means open. Gaping means open. There is no roof to the house, and it also already destroyed by fire, and no one is there in the house. The windows boarded up. The windows also boarded up. Boarded up means covered with wooden boards. Covered with wooden boards. So I knocked at the house next door and asked if anyone knew the whereabouts of a Mrs. McPherson. So what did I decide? I didn't find anyone in the house, and it was already destroyed by fire. So I knocked the next door. The next door means that is not belongs to this house. The next door means yes, next door means nothing but the neighbor. So this narrator went and knocked the next door and asked about this house. That means who? About Connie. He inquired about Connie to neighbor. So what happened here? See. Oh yes, said the old man in his slippers. He knew her well. So when he knocked the door, the next door, a old man came from outside of the house and he said, oh, I know the lady very well. He said, who was the lady here? Yes, Connie is the lady. He said, a lovely old lady. He told me, a bit muddle-headed. He said, a very lovely old lady, but a little muddle-headed. Children, do you know the meaning of muddle-headed? Muddle-headed means confused. Muddle-headed means confused. He was telling about, the old man is telling about the lady. She was a very fair and lovely lady, but a little bit of muddle-headed. Muddle-headed means confused. Why he said like that? But at her age, she was entitled to be, wasn't she? Yes, he said, she will be muddle-headed only because at the time of that, her age was 101 years old. What was the age of Jim Macpherson here? Mrs. Jim Macpherson? 101 years old. Yes, probably it may happen. We don't remember anything. Little bit confused. If we ask one thing, we will give another answer. In that same manner, she will be muddle-headed like that. She had been in the house when it caught fire. So the old man said she has been in that house when it was caught fire. That means already the old lady lived in the same address in that house only. But unfortunately, one day it was caught in fire. So what happened here? No one really knew how the fire had started. Actually, the fire burnt out, but no one knew. No one noticed it. How does it started? No one did notice. When it was the flames came out, at that time everyone saw it is burned out. But it could well have been candles. But some other people said that it may be happened because of candles. She used candles rather than electricity. Even though in that time they have electricity, she didn't use the electricity. Rather than using electricity, she has been using candles in the night time. So maybe it was one of the cause to cause the fire. Because she always thought electricity was too expensive. In those days, she thought that electricity was too expensive. Instead of using electricity, I have candles, I will use these candles. She maybe thought like that. That's why she lit the candle. Maybe the fire has caught like that. So it has happened. The fireman had got her just in time. At that time, luckily the fireman had got her just in time. In time they reached and they saved her life. She was in a nursing home. Now he told me, Burlington House on the Dorchester Road on the other side of the town. Now she was in a nursing home. What did the old man said here? When the fireman came and they saved her life and she was shifted to the nursing home. Where was the nursing home? It was at the Burlington House. Burlington House on the Dorchester Road. Where was that nursing home? Burlington House at the Dorchester Road. Who gave this address? The old man has given this address. It is nothing but just a few on the other side of the town. Already he reached Bridgeport. From this just far away, few miles away from this next town. I found Burlington House nursing home easily enough. So what did I do? Just I took the address from this old man. I means here, yes, narrator took the address and he went to the Burlington House. Why did he go there? Yes, in order Why did he go there? Yes, he went. He want to meet Connie. He want to meet Connie. Why did he want to meet Connie? Yes, he want to return the letter to her. Okay. I found Burlington House nursing home easily enough. So he went to the Burlington House. It is nothing but nursing home. It is somewhat easy for him to catch the address. There were paper chains up in the hallway and a lighted Christmas tree stood in the corner with a lopsided angel on the top. So when he reached the nursing home, there were paper chains up in the hallway and a lighted Christmas tree. Children, here that is the season. Now by reading this you can understand that it was the season of Christmas. It was Christmas time. So what is the paper chains up in the hallway and a light Christmas tree? There stood a Christmas tree. Look children, when it was Christmas time, we may see the Christmas trees and the stars which were hanging in front of the houses. Like that we will notice. By seeing that we will understand this was the Christmas season. In the manner, the nursing home was also decorated with paper chains, and there was an angel toy which was hanging outside, just like a fairy lady. Fairy lady means which have wings, holding one stick in her hand. Fairy lady with white clothes. Yes. Like that, on the top, in front of that nursing home, there was a Christmas tree along with a fairy lady angel statue. Okay. Next, Christmas. I said I was a friend come to visit Mrs. Macpherson to bring her a Christmas present. So when I went into that nursing home, I said, when we went, suppose if you went to hospital to see someone, can you go directly to the patient's room? No, we can't. We will ask in the reception. In the same manner, he also inquired in the reception. He said, I was a friend come to visit Miss Jim Macpherson to bring her a Christmas present. He said to the reception counter that I came to meet Jim Macpherson to give me a Christmas present. I could see through into the dining room where everyone was wearing a paper hat and singing. So when he was talking with that in the reception counter, at that time he saw into the dining room where everyone was wearing a paper hat. That means, see children, in Christmas time, in the same manner everyone is wearing a paper hat and dancing and singing. That means they are in the mood of Christmas. They are enjoying there. So we saw that. The matron had a hat on too and seemed happy enough to see me. When I was talking in the reception, at that time the matron came. Children, do you know the meaning of matron? Matron is the head nurse. Matron means the head nurse. The head nurse means the head nurse who look after the residents who are living in that nursing home. We call her as matron. So she also wore a hat and seemed happy to see me. She also felt very happy. Did she know this narrator? No. But why did she feel very happy by seeing him? Because just that is Christmas time. Everyone, even though they are enemies, used to wish each other. That is the season of Christmas. They forgot each and everything. They want to wish everyone. So by seeing him, and also she heard that he was telling he came to meet Jim Macpherson to give a present. By hearing that, she was very happy. She even offered me a mince pie. And what did the matron give him? Matron gave him, she gave a mince pie, offered mince pie. What is mince pie? Mince pie means a kind of dish. A kind of dish prepared with meat. Mince pie means a kind of dish prepared with meat. So who offered here mince pie? Yes, matron has offered a mince pie to the narrator. She walked me along the corridor. So when he said, said, I came to meet Miss Macpherson. She said, okay, follow me. Like that she said to him, and they are walking in the corridor. Miss Macpherson is not in with the others, she told me. She is rather confused today, so we thought it best if she had a good rest. What did she say? Miss Macpherson is not in with the others. Actually, they had the nursing home has provided another room for Mrs. Jim Macpherson. I mean nothing but Connie. They provided another room for her. She was in that room, but on that day she was not feeling well. So they decided that she has to take rest today. By seeing her condition, they understood she has to take rest today. She has no family, no one visits. And the matron said to narrator, no one visited her because she don't have any relatives. No one comes to see her. Like that she said. Why she said like that? Because when she was admitted in this nursing home, from then onwards no one visited her. Why? Because yes, Jim Macpherson is a soldier. He was in war. So she don't have any relatives or children. No one. Just she is staying alone in that house. Unfortunately, it was caught in fire, and luckily she was saved by the firemen, and she was admitted in this nursing home. From that day onwards, matron know everything about her. No one will come to see her. Like that she was leading her life. So that's what now matron said to this narrator. Next. She has no, so I am sure she will be only too pleased to see you. And she said, today she will be very happy by seeing you, because until now no one did came to visit her. Now you are the first person. Like that she said. She took me into a conservatory with wicker chairs and potted plants all around and left me. So here, what is the meaning here? Conservatory. Conservatory means nothing but a greenhouse. Greenhouse. Have you heard this word greenhouse? That means like with glass. The house which was fitted with glasses, and the sunlight will enter in through the glass, and the plants will also grow in that house. That we call as conservatory. We call it as conservatory. So here she took me into a conservatory with wicker chairs. Wicker chairs. Children, do you know the meaning of wicker chairs? Wicker chairs means nothing but the branches of a tree. With the help of the branches of the tree or roots of the tree, we will move some chairs like cane chairs. Like the cane chairs, which are very flexible to sit. For hot and for cold, it will be comfort for sitting. So that we call as cane chairs, nothing but wicker chairs. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair, her hands folded in her lap. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair. Where was she sitting? She was sitting in a wheelchair. The old lady was sitting in a wheelchair, her hands folded in her lap. So the old lady. Who was old lady referred to here? Yes, Connie. Nothing but Connie. Connie means, yes, Mrs. Jim Macpherson. She was sitting in a wheelchair. See here, she was sitting in a wheelchair. See here, she was sitting in a wheelchair. Okay. Now, her hands folded in her lap. She folded her hands and she kept her hands in her lap. She had silver white hair pinned into a wispy bun. So, old lady, we know she was 100 years old. So, how was she? Yes. She had silver white hair pinned into a wispy bun. She was 101 years old now. Oh yes, her hair was silver white hair and she just wore her hair in a wispy bun model. Okay, it was one model of the hair, just she kept her hair like this in the shape of bun. She was gazing out the garden. Gazing out the garden. What is the meaning of gaze? Gazing means look steadily. Gazing means look steadily. Might be, probably she may thinking about her husband. So like that she was gazing out at the garden. Hello, I said. She turned and looked up at me vacantly. When I reached there, I just said hello. At that time, she looked vacantly. What is the meaning of vacantly? Vacantly means completely lost. Completely lost. What does completely lost here? What did she completely lost? Yes, her memory. She completely lost her memory. She was unable to identify the narrator. Actually, did she know the narrator here? No, she don't know the narrator. But here, according to her, as she was old, she was unable to identify who was the person standing in front of her. So, she looked vacantly. Happy Christmas, Connie, he said. Who said here? Yes, narrator wished her Happy Christmas. I went on means here narrator is speaking to her. I found this, I think it is yours. He was telling, I found this, I think it is yours. He was telling that, he was showing the envelope to her. I think it is yours. As I was speaking, her eyes never left my face. While I was talking, she never left my eyes. She was looking at me like that only. And just she was thinking about me, who I am. Like that she was recognizing me. That means she was recognizing the narrator here. I opened the tin box and gave it to her. That was the moment her eyes lit up with recognition and her face became suffused with a sudden glow of happiness. When I gave the tin box and gave it to her, her face was lit up with happiness and her face became suffused. What is the meaning of suffused? Suffused with. Suffused means here glow of happiness. Glow happiness. Suffused with means glow of happiness spread all over her face. So, with the recognition, she saw me. I explained about the desk, about how I had found it. Now I explained everything detailed to Connie. How I brought that roll top desk to my house. When I was doing work on that roll top desk, I found this tin box. I read the letter. Now I came to give this letter. Like that, the narrator explained the whole story to Connie. But I don't think she was listening. That means the narrator understood she was not listening to his words. For a while she said nothing. For some minutes she didn't speak anything, but stroked the letter tenderly with her fingertips. Just she took the letter tenderly. Tenderly means here, children. Tenderly means gently. She took the letter gently and kept in her fingertips. Suddenly, she reached out and took my hand. When the narrator was standing beside her, she came near to him and she took the narrator's hand. Her eyes were filled with tears. You told me you had come home by Christmas, dearest, she said. See children, what did she say now here? Listen here. You told me you had come by Christmas, dearest. What do you understand? She was imagining that she thought that the narrator is nothing but, yes, Jim MacPherson. That means she thought he was her husband. Yes. And here you are, the best Christmas present in the world. What did you write in the letter? I will be back in Christmas. So you did the same. This is the best Christmas present in the world. My dear, like that, here, Connie said to the narrator, come closer, Jim. Sit down. Sit near to me. What did she say? Yes, she asked narrator to sit beside her. I sat down beside her and she kissed my cheek. What did she do? She kissed his cheek. And she said, I read your letter so often, Jim, every day. So now, children, do you understand? Yes. Now this Connie thought that this narrator was her husband. So how she will speak to her husband, like in the manner she was talking to him. What she was telling? I read your letter so often, Jim. I read your letter every day. I wanted to hear your voice in my head. Every day I used to read your letter and I want to hear your voice. It always made me feel you were with me. She was telling with most love and affection. She was talking how she will talk to her husband in the manner she was telling. She was expressing until now how she faced the problem of loneliness. Now, by seeing her husband, I mean the narrator, she was expressing how she will express to her husband in the manner she was speaking everything to him. And now you are back. You can read it to me yourself. Take this letter, Jim. You read it yourself and read it to me. I will hear. I want to listen your voice. Like that, the Connie said. Would you do that for me, Jim dear? Could you do that favor to me? Because for so many years I have been waiting for you. But at last you said I will be on Christmas Day. Like that you are on Christmas Day. So please read it to me, dear. Like that she said. I just want to hear your voice again. Please, Jim, I want to hear your voice again. Like that Connie said to narrator. I would love that so much, and then perhaps we will have some tea. I would love that so much. What did she love here? Yes, by hearing his voice, she wanted to listen her husband's voice again. So she was asking him, and then perhaps we will have some tea. After that we will have some tea. I have made you a nice Christmas cake, marzipan. And again she was telling to the narrator, I have prepared a cake for you. That is nothing but marzipan. Children, already in the earlier class we have learned what is a marzipan. It was a cake prepared with eggs and almonds. That means when Jim McPherson is with Connie, at that time she used to prepare the delicious cake to her husband. Isn't it? Now she was just telling to her husband, to the narrator, that I will prepare a marzipan cake for you. I have made you a cake and I will bring that to you. I know how much you love marzipan. I know, Jim, you love that marzipan cake very much. So I shall bring that for you. Like that, she was telling, she was talking, not even giving a chance to Jim McPherson. Children, do you understand? But here, this narrator, unable to say that I am not your husband, and he didn't find any nurse or matron beside him to tell the truth. Actually, he was a narrator. He found the letter and he came back to return the letter to Jim McPherson. But unluckily, she thought that her husband, the narrator, was her husband, and she was thinking that my husband came back. And she was thinking her husband came and I want to talk to him. Like that she was thinking. Do you understand, children? Yes. So, okay, children, I know how much you love marzipan. Like that she said. And from this, what do you understand? Yes. How much she loved Jim McPherson. That means she was in memories of her husband. She was waiting for her husband. She thought the husband came back as he kept his promise. What did he write in that letter? I will be back for next Christmas. Like that he came back and he came today. He gave me the best Christmas present in the world. Like that she thought. Children, I think this is the suitable title for this lesson. The best Christmas present. Maybe the presents were nothing but happiness. This present gave happiness. Even though the narrator did not tell who he was, she was in thoughts of her husband. That was the best Christmas present. And like that, Jim McPherson also gave best Christmas present to Hans Wall. How? Because on the Christmas first day, they forgot their enmity, they forgot about their opposite team. Why did they came? Actually, they were on war, world war, but they forgot everything, but they made peace there. That is also best Christmas present for them. Here also for this Connie also, the narrator gave the letter to her. Not only giving the letter to her is the best Christmas present here. Just in her mind, she was in thoughts of her husband. So, as he said, I will be back in Christmas. Like that, she was thinking, he back. He came back and he gave that gift on Christmas. Like that, she was thinking. See children, whatever the gift you give to others, maybe it is a material. It will be a temporary for some days. It will be last for some days. But the memories will last forever and ever. Whatever it may be, we have to give good and take good. That the good deeds and good thoughts, whatever we are giving to others, that will be everlasting forever. This is the best suitable title for this lesson. I think you understood the meaning of the title of the lesson. Children, have you understood this? This is the summary of this lesson. Okay children, this is the summary of the lesson. I hope you all understood this lesson. Okay children, nice. In next video, we will go through once again children, you go through this lesson. Read lesson line by line. Understand part wise. We have 3 parts in this lesson. First part is about just the narrator. He brought a desk from junk shop. From that desk, he found a tin box. What did he found in that one? Like that is the first part. In second part, it tells about the letter. The Jim Macpherson wrote a letter to Connie. What did he write in that letter? That is about all second part. Coming to third part, what happened here? Yes, the narrator want to meet Connie and he returned the letter to Connie. This is the third part. Okay children, you read these parts one by one and also go through the meanings and also comprehension check questions. Try to find out the answers by yourself. In next video, I will discuss with you about these comprehension check questions and the grammar part and the meanings and the remaining blanks and everything. Okay children?